Now, most of you should already be familiar with this article that's on your screen right now, so I won't spend too much time on it. But to sum it all up, a very small handful of black congressmen and women were upset with the fact that in Biden's Build Back Better Act, HBCUs would not only get a lower amount of federal funding than what they previously expected, but they would now also have to compete for this small amount of funding against Hispanic serving institutions and tribal colleges and universities. Not only that, but the way in which the law was written, according to Representative Alma Adams per this article, it is accurate to say that HBCUs will only successfully compete for pennies on the dollar, Adams wrote, adding that while she appreciates the intention of allowing colleges and universities with smaller research capacities to jumpstart their efforts, the legislation would actually inhibit R2 HBCUs from becoming R1 institutions by deprioritizing their grant applications. Now, if that doesn't upset you, this definitely will. You see, if you've been following this channel for at least the last 2 to 3 weeks, watching my live videos with Rob from Blacklight Revelations 2 called Just Talking, then you will have noticed that we've been very adamant recently on definitions, being able to properly define what it is you're actually trying to articulate when you say things like, we want tangibles, or we need a black agenda. Well, what does that actually mean, right? Now, the same applies to Hispanic serving institutions. What does that actually mean? A Hispanic Serving Institution, HSI, is defined in federal law as an accredited degree-granting public or private nonprofit institution or higher education with 25% or more total undergraduate Hispanic or Latino full-time equivalent student enrollment. In the 2018-2019 academic year, 539 institutions met the federal enrollment criterion. Well, what's the criteria to be considered an HSI? If you scroll down to backgrounds, it states, have at least 25% Hispanic or Latino undergraduate full-time equivalent student enrollment. Now, there are other criteria to be met, but that's the most important one that I just read off to you. Why? Because as of now, there are 539 HSIs. Back in September of 2002, per the National Center of Education Statistics, there were only 335 HSIs. So what does that tell you? Well, it tells me that Hispanic serving institutions is an ever-growing body of institutions in comparison to HBCUs that are stagnant at 101 institutions. Well, that's a mistake, actually. They're not stuck at 101 because they're actually declining. There are 101 HBCUs in the United States of the 121 institutions that existed during the 1930s. Now, can somebody please explain to me how a declining set of institutions, HBCUs, are supposed to compete for funding against an ever-growing set of institutions, HSIs? Also, not only do they have to compete with an ever-growing set of institutions, but many of these HSIs are majority white institutions, like Arizona State University downtown Phoenix, to which their student body is 46.7% white and 29.7% Hispanic, and University of Connecticut Stanford, which is 41% white and 24% Hispanic. This college is on the HSI list, and they don't even meet the 25% Hispanic threshold. Biden literally has HBCUs competing for pennies on the dollar against majority white Hispanic serving institutions. You can't make this stuff up, man. The hate for black Americans in this country is real. And the Biden administration just gets more and more bold with it every day. You know, I'm pretty sure I asked this question once before, but I'm going to ask it again. Can somebody please tell me where are all the black Biden supporters at who swore up and down to me that things were going to be different this time around? Because I can't seem to find them anywhere. About 8 or 9 months ago, these folks were literally out here crying that Joe Biden got into office.
As one nation, but joy cometh in the
Come on,
morning.
Joe!
We will get through this.
We gonna get through this together, y'all.
Together.
Dan, what are your thoughts?
It's well, it's easier to be a parent this morning. It's easier to be a dad. It's easier to tell your kids character matters. It matters. Telling the truth matters. Being a good person matters. This is vindication for a lot of people who have really suffered. You know, the I can't breathe. You know, that wasn't just George Floyd. That was a lot of people that felt that they couldn't breathe.
This is embarrassing. Anyways, with all that being said, that does it for today's video. So please make sure you hit the subscribe button as well as the bell notification next to the subscribe button so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. All social media links will be pinned in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to text tdhiphop to number 33222. That's tdhiphop to number 33222. That will get a direct text notification whenever I release a new video, but it also serves as a protection plan for myself in case YouTube ever gives this channel the axe. I'll be able to send you a direct link to where you can find me next. And last but certainly not least, for those of you who have a love and appreciation for the work that I put in on this channel, the number one way you can show your support is through Patreon. For only $3 a month, that will help put me in position to be able to take TD Hip Hop Media off of YouTube. Remember, the goal is not to grow big on YouTube, but to grow independent of YouTube. And for those of you who have trouble with signing up to Patreon, you could also hit the join button that is next to the subscribe button, in which you can become a monthly member to TD Hip Hop Media for as little as $3 a month. And if you haven't already, please make sure you join the emailing list. There is no way that I can go independent of YouTube if I cannot take the audience with me, and the link to that will be pinned in the comment section below as well. Thank you for your time, and until the next video, peace.